and the empowerment and the whole thing. Are you rolling? We're with Hal Kuden from New York, and we just had an interesting workshop on golden men. What is the meaning of that term
The
here?
golden man?
Yes.
It's a play on words. In the one sense, it's using the golden from the golden years, golden seniors, all of that, which most people think that's where it comes from. But actually, back in the 50s, there was a term called golden boy, which used to refer to the hot young man in town. And it was always the golden boy, and this is now talking about golden men.
Love it.
Okay? So that's where that really came from. And then the title, Power of Gay Midlife. I wanted to put power and midlife in the same context. This is a way of shocking somebody, because most people don't associate gay midlife as powerful.
So you say we come out when we realize we're associated with a particular group when we're younger normally, coming out into gay life, and then we come out again to realize that we're in a certain age category or what?
Yeah. When we all of a sudden realize we no longer are, as I say, one of them, when we no longer are part of one age group and we realize we're now and somehow facing our mortality, we're in another age. And some people reach it at 30, some reach it at 60. I mean, it's not any moment. Everyone does it at their own space and own time. But it's when they reach that moment that they start feeling all of the negative feelings around aging. It hits them. And what I'm talking about in the book is that in order to age successfully, we need to get rid of all the internalized ageism that we have taken in. All the negative feelings that stop us from looking at ourselves in a mirror and saying that is a vibrant, valuable, attractive person.
So do gay men have a harder time with this than non-gay men?
In one sense, they do, because they have focused on themselves in a physical way. Non-gay men will have many other attributes: their job, their social status, all the other things. In fact, they've been married, that help validate themselves. As gay men, we tend to use the physical look as our primary, the same way that non-gay men look at women.
Right.
They evaluate women first physically. Their sexual object is seen that way. They don't see themselves that way. They don't see themselves as a sexual object based on just how they look.
But two gay men are looking at themselves
The same way.
same way.
So, on the one hand, it's a problem, but on the other hand, it makes them more sensitive to the issue of looks, so they take better care of themselves. I mean, the common joke is about the gay man who goes back to the high school reunion, and he's probably the best shaped person there, takes care of himself the best, looks the best, etc. But that's one point. The other point that I think is so important for me is that coming out is not just a one-time deal. We came out at one point in our life, and we developed a lot of skills in learning how to do that. A lot of strengths were developed, so that when we approach midlife, however we define that time, it's a coming out process again.
And we bring those skills with us to help us
Absolutely.
live better.
Well, it's a skill where we were able to look to one group, being the non-gay world, and say, I'm not going to let you invalidate me. I'm not going to let you put me down for who I am. I am a worthy person. And we then move into the gay world. Well, we do that again at midlife, or at that time, when we say, I'm not going to use the standards and value system of the gay world, which puts me down, but I'm now going to move into the world where I am validated.
I wanted to show your book, Golden Men, The Power of Gay Midlife. Harold Cooten, PhD, and Charles Flowers is a poet. And you
Yes.
sort of put your academic language and the poetic language together here.
As much as possible.
Well, it's a
Yes.
neat book. Thanks, Hal.
Thank you.
Good seeing you.
Let me just shoot your badge for just 1 second.
Oh, I got my number.
Soulforce identifies itself as an interfaith coalition of people of faith committed to nonviolence.
Brian, this is camera 2 on Joey's interview. We're using 2 cameras on this one.
We don't want you to have to edit too much.
That's what the editors for, thank God. Brian, sorry, but it's your life. Okay, I'm here with 2 wonderful people from Diversity USA. President.
Dignity.
Oh, Dignity. Let's start that again, sorry. Oops. Okay, I'm here with Mary Ann. Let's do it again. Mary, Mary Louise, and Mary Ann. Hi, I'm here with Mary Louise and Mary Ann of Dignity USA. Mary Ann, is that English your last name? Yes. And you are the executive director. Can you tell me a little bit about this organization?
Dignity USA has been around since 1969. We're the organization of gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender Roman Catholics, our families, and our friends. And since the late 60s, we have been providing both safe spaces for gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender Catholics to come and worship God in the Catholic tradition. And as a national movement, we are working for education and reform in the church policies to make sure that folks understand the reality of our lives, how holy and whole we are as gay and lesbian Catholics, as bisexual Catholics, transgender Catholics, and our families, so that over time the church will be able to fully embrace and affirm who we are.
You guys are very visible at these sort of events that creating change in the families and communities. Can you tell me how are you visible within the church?
Within the church, we do a lot of outreach and education. We will go to parishes and talk about the experience of what it's like to be gay and Catholic, so that folks understand who we are and that we're probably worshiping in the pews right next to them. But because of church teachings, people often have to feel like they have to be silent about who they are, and have to leave half of themselves outside the door when they come to worship God, and it's just not right. We are right now in dialogue with a number of bishops around the country, again, working to end violence against GLBT people, trying to change the language that the church promulgates that leads to this violence. We work to end the bishops' discriminatory practices in supporting civil rights, or in opposing civil rights movements that would increase our rights and our freedoms in society.
How long have you been involved? What part do you do? How did you get introduced?
I've been a member of Dignity Boston since 1982, so it's been almost 20 years for me. And for me, it was simply finding a place where I could be all of who I was. My faith was so important to me. But as a lesbian, I had felt so excluded in churches for so long. When I heard about Dignity and went to my first Dignity liturgy and found a place where I was welcome
remind all Catholics and all people that the language and the words that we use can be hurtful, that they are hateful, and that they lead to emotional, spiritual, and physical violence against gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender people of all faiths. This coming weekend, we're calling on the bishops to stop violence, to condemn the current teachings and practices that lead to attitudes that are hateful and hurtful, that lead to actions.
What are the biggest obstacles that you face in education? Is the most important thing. And what kind of obstacles as far as within the church?
Well, I think one thing that is very powerful is helping all people understand that the bishops are not the church, that the people of God who gather and who name ourselves Catholics, we're Catholic by baptism, we are all the church, and we all have a responsibility for the teachings of the church. We can't just hand that over to the hierarchy. You know, what we know from national polls, from our own experience, is that most Catholics are very supportive. You know, they have gay and lesbian members in their family. They know folks who are transgender. They understand who we are, and they feel very alone in that knowledge and in their support. And we're really trying to build bridges to help connect those people to one another and to help them reclaim their own power in the church.
You know, Joey, I think another tremendous obstacle is our own oppression as GLBT Catholics.
Yes.
We hear this all the time. The question we get all the time is, you're Catholic? Why would you stay in the church? You're not going to change the church. And in fact, will we have an effect today, tomorrow, or next week on church teaching? Maybe. Maybe not. But we will have an effect every day that we put ourselves out there and we say, welcome us for who we say we are. Do not refuse us in the church because of who we say we are. We put that out there every day and we touch the lives of people. And that's so important because that's our real ministry, is to touch the lives of people. And an outcome of that must be that our church leaders recognize that the policies that are in effect today and the current theology, the policies are incorrect and the theology is incomplete. And we challenge our church leaders to complete the theology and to join with the people of God in living out that experience.
Wow. What a pleasure to meet both of you. Thank you so much for being here. There is a website that people can go to. It's Dignity, www.dignityusa.org.
That's correct.
Is there an Atlanta chapter of Dignity?
There is an Atlanta chapter of Dignity. We'd be happy to connect people with that through the website. In fact, we're going to be having dinner tomorrow night with our Atlanta chapter and talking about what's going on nationally, hearing about what's going on here in Atlanta. We're really looking forward to meeting with those folks.
Thank you so much for talking to us. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see what some of our other correspondents are doing. I think Rob and some of the youth correspondents.
I'm Kathleen Camposano, and I'm with the Fairness Campaign in Louisville, Kentucky. And my first job was when I was 11, working in my family's Italian grocery store. Stop and shops.
My name's Tanya. I'm from here in Atlanta, and my first job was working at a fair shed.
Oakland. I'm from Atlanta with Youth Pride. My first job was a day camp counselor when I was in 8th grade.
My name's Kelly, and I'm with Youth Pride Atlanta. And I think my first job was working in a record store.
My name's Asha, also with Youth Pride here in Atlanta, and my first job was childcare.
My name's Julie Boyles, and I'm from Denver. I run a youth drop-in center in Denver, a queer youth drop-in center. My first job, I think, was at the Dover House of Pizza in New Hampshire.
My name is Amy Tebow. I am the program coordinator for a peer program called Tobacco Education for Gay and Lesbian Youth at the Home for Little Wanderers in Boston.
My first job was working at McDonald's. I don't work there anymore.
My name's Lisa. I'm with Gays Alliance, and my first job was at Denny's.
My name's Jeremy. I'm 6. I do have to say. I'm from San Diego also, and I'm with Gays Alliance. And my first job was at a clothing store specific to someone.
My name's George. I live in Oceanside, California. I live in stuff, and now I'm also with the Gay Youth Alliance. And my first job was as a lifeguard.
I'm Patty Hayes. I'm the youth program coordinator for the Gay Alliance of the Genesee Valley in Rochester, New York. And I guess the first job sort of was babysitting, but the first job that I really had to
Take care of young people. And after a while, I was really trying to break out of it. I was like, I can do other things. But it was just, it was a really odd kind of natural progression into that pretty female space. This is odd.
Well, I had the absolute opposite experience. I went for all traditional male jobs. I didn't want a waitress. I wanted to cook. I hated waitressing. Get your own damn food because of my attitude. And then I did an internship in Colorado where I was the first woman who worked on the trails in this job when I was down because I could do it. And then I was the first woman snowmaker for ski area in New Hampshire. And I just got nothing but crap for these jobs. You know, that my gender did not fit what I like to do and what was true to me. And yeah, I still get hassles. I walked home from the hotel last night and a homeless person said, you know, hey, big guy, you want to give me some money? And said, thank you, sir. I was like, God, I can't go anywhere without, you know, being mistaken for a man and being harassed because of it. And it was all through my jobs. And now I work as a, you know, director of youth services for queer kids, and it's the only place I've never been harassed about, you know, my gender.
Well, I've worked at 2 photo labs. The first one was where my parents lived, which is Raleigh, North Carolina, which is really conservative. And I didn't have any bad experiences there, but the environment was very tense depending on who was working. There were some people that I could talk about my girlfriend to, and there's some people that just kind of scared me. And then I switched to a photo lab closer to the university, which is like a whole lot more liberal. It's like a different country. And everyone there was really supportive. And I actually had my worst experiences with customers because once someone came in and my back was faced towards them and they were like, excuse me, sir. And I turned around and they were like, or whatever. And I was like, no, not or whatever, you know. And I was wearing a skirt too. I don't know. So that was just
Well, I've had a lot of typical female experiences working with kids, but I love it. I've been babysitting since I was 10 on my own. I always wanted to do that, and then after that, my next job where I had taxes taken out of my paycheck was working at a camp where we worked with the kids 24 hours a day, 6 days a week, and I was a counselor and a lifeguard. And then before I worked for Tegley at Popular Wonders, I was working at an after-school program, and I was doing an internship with adolescent boys at a residential treatment center. And even though I had some of those really awkward moments where it was like, are you a boy or a girl? I also had some of the coolest moments because I would just present myself totally as I am, and I'd be up there playing sports with them, although the really femmy female teachers wouldn't be. And they would always be like, Amy's cool, she's not like a regular girl. And they're little kids, so it's just like whatever. And then even the adolescent boys were really cool because we'd play soccer together, and if I would strip them of the ball, they'd be like, oh, you're cool, you're good. Wow, you're better than Dan, the male counselor, or something like that. And they'd be surprised that a girl could be so good. And I was just like, strike one, yeah, say, good job for girls. You know, it was great. And they didn't need to know that I was gay. But it was such a powerful message just for being a woman.
Well, I'm a banker, and typically what I've noticed is that male bankers are like all gay, and so it's not hard to like be gay in the workplace. And actually, like
when I was working at McDonald's, okay, which was years ago, and I don't know like how I ever got through it, because it's like now that I'm gay in the workplace and like all my coworkers know it, it's like I don't know how I ever lived in a workplace where I was not out, and like I couldn't talk about my social life or the guy I was dating or that sort of thing. So I just think it's pretty cool.
I grew up in an economic system where the population was 50-50 Hispanic and white, and the white people owned the vineyards and the farms, and the Hispanic people worked on them. And I grew up fairly wealthy, and my parents got a divorce, and then I was dirt poor when I was like 15 or 16, and I had to get a job, so I got a job working at the pear sheds, which is kind of what you can get around that age group. So I was the only, white person in a place where nobody spoke any English, and it was a very humbling experience to be in a situation where at one point you were the one who, were economically privileged at one point, and you brought yourself down to a place where you're on the same level, and I don't know, it was very life-changing for me on how much economics play into our stereotypes and our cultural identities, and I don't know, it was a very good first work experience. So.
I've had along the lines of the many jobs that I've had.
How you want to do it? You want to run through, or you want to just do it? Let's just do it.
Let's do it. Hey, we can
it's really
edit.
simple, relaxed.
Just do it.
Okay?
I get it.
Stop and start. Do whatever you want.
Franklin's made of a movie star, so it's okay. We do the 5, 4, 3, 2, and go. Hi, my name is Franklin Robinson, and this is my friend Tanya, and we are stopping.
Sorry.
Run through what you want to say. Hi, my name is Franklin from Youth Pride. Franklin and Youth Pride.
Say something on the mic for me.
Hello? Frank from Youth Pride, and this is my
wait.
friend.
Ready?
Okay. Oh, am I waiting for the...
I'm giving you the finger.
Give me the finger, that's what I want.
Here we go.
Okay.
The finger.
Hey, I'm Frank from Youth Pride, and this is my friend Tanya, and we're here at Creating Change today, and we're going to attend a queer youth job training, so let's go have a look and see what that's all about.
Perfect. It's about the poor little kids over in rural.
Where are you going? You're not leaving, are you? Well, you're the one closing. I'm not leaving.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
And
wait, hold on.
Gotta have the thing.
a lot about raising my boss.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Big smile time.
That was incredible. We just learned a lot from the Creating Change queer youth job training. Currently in Atlanta at Youth Pride, we are holding internships that go about every 6 months, and we currently have a job opening. If you're interested in that, please give us a call or give us a visit at our website at youthpride.org.
That was excellent.
Great.